Hi, and it's time for our story. Now, yesterday I didn't get a chance to have a read, so I thought I'd read two chapters or two bits of the chapter today. So, if you remember rightly, today's chapter is called Evening. I Get Rich Temporarily, which means for a short while. So, how was school? Asked Mum after dinner. I shoveled a heap of mashed potato into my mouth and grunted. I didn't want her to know about the detention. Did your girlfriend like her present? Asked Dad. Strangely enough, I was glad that he'd brought this up. I'd been wondering how I was going to ask for the money. Yes, I said. In fact, she'd love some more. Oh, how cute, said Mum. I knew it'd work a treat. I cleared my throat. 50 more, to be precise. Dad nearly spat out his dinner. 50? What does she think we're made of? Jam? Sounds like she only wants you for your doughnuts, Mum said, waving a forkful of steak pie at me. No, I said, and I explained all about the old people's tea party. I decided not to explain that 2 of the 50 doughnuts were for Jane and 1 was for me. Ooh, how lovely, Mum cooed, giving me a huge sloppy kiss on the cheek. Such a kind young man. I'm so proud of you. Dad dipped into his wallet and handed me 20 quid right there and then. I couldn't believe it. I was loaded. All for a good cause, son, he said. Now, speaking of which, I knew we'd run out, so I picked up a Gibson's on the way home. He went into the kitchen and came back with a small tray of squidgy splodge doughnuts just for us. This was terrific. I could have wept. I was going to eat my favourite snack and all of my donut-related problems were solved. Everything was just brilliant. That is, until the doorbell rang. And this next bit of the book is called He's Clean. Gamble was standing on my doorstep. He was still in his school uniform and he was holding on to a dog by its lead. The dog was really scruffy. It was long and thin with patchy fur and one of its eyes was a bit milky. It was straining against its lead and making a really horrible wheezing sound. "Wanna hang out, mate?" said Gamble, grinning before I could make any excuse. The dog jumped up onto my chest and started licking my face. "Oh, yuck, get it off," I said, wiping the slobber off my cheek. I had to say this, but its breath smelt slightly better than Gamble's. Gamble pulled the dog down and sniffed the air. I think he means Gamble sniffed the air, not necessarily the dog. "Are you eating dinner?" he asked. "I'll have some." I tried to stop him, but he pushed past me and headed towards the dining room. When I got there, Mum and Dad were staring at Gamble and the dog open-mouthed. "Nice pad," he said, looking around. "This is Gamble, Darren from school," I said. "He's new." "Hello, Darren," said Mum. "It's nice of you to drop in, but we don't normally allow animals in." Gamble scratched the dog behind the ears. "Oh, don't worry about Scratchy here. He's clean." I looked at the dog and gulped. "Are you sure?" I asked. "It's licking his bottom." "Ah, yes," replied Gamble. "He does that a lot. It's the worms, you see." My mouth went dry and my stomach began to feel very shaky. I suddenly realised how Kevin, the Volcano Harrison, must feel on a long-distance coach journey. "But you just let it lick my face." "I can't stop him being friendly," grinned Gamble. "Oh, gross," I said, frantically rubbing my cheek with my sleeve. "I'll fetch some wet wipes," Mum said. And as soon as she stood up, Scratchy leapt onto her chair, put its paws on the table and shoved its head into the splodgy doughnut tray and dragged its tongue around all 3 of the doughnuts. "Oh, come on," I said. "This is too much." "Wow, doughnuts," said Gamble, picking one up in his filthy hand. "Are you eating them?" The dog started scraping its bottom against the back of Mum's chair. "Oh, I think I'll give it a miss," I said. "Not really hungry," said Dad. "Oh, brilliant," said Gamble, stuffing them into his pockets. Scratchy farted triumphantly. When Mum came back, can you just imagine the scene? The dog sitting on the chair, scratching his bottom and having a good fart over a donut. When Mum came back with the wet wipes and saw Scratchy on her chair, she hit the roof. Gamble was asked to leave. Wasn't bothered at all. In fact, he seemed quite used to being thrown out of places. Apart from a nasty smell, you know, that kind of rotten egg mixed with wet dog smell, all that he and Scratchy left behind was the squidgy splodge donut tray. Once again, I was completely donutless. Ooh, that's difficult to say. I was gutted about what Gamble had done, but as Mum went round with the bleach spray and the air freshener, I had an idea. I took the empty tray upstairs. After washing my face 6 times, I went to my room. My phone was charging on my desk. I dug it out and plugged it in when I came home from school. I sat down on my bed and switched it on. Straight away, it beeped 3 times. 3 text messages in one go. Wow! There were 3 times more than I'd received in my whole life. The text messages were: Mum, from 2 months ago, which shows how often I use my phone. "Hello, darling. Just wanted to send my lovely boy a big kiss. Delete that. Jane, today at 3:35. Hi, Roman. Quick reminder about the money for the donuts. Love you, your girlfriend, Jane. Delete that. Jane, today at 15:37. Why haven't you replied yet? I probably should mention that if you don't bring the money, our relationship will be over. Couldn't figure out whether or not this was a bad thing. Gonna delete that. Decided not to reply to either Jane or my mum. I only had £3 and 8p of credit left, and I needed almost half of it for what I was planning. When I'd seen the donut tray lying on the table, I'd remembered about the competition. Mum had mentioned it to Jane the day before. On the side of the tray, it said you had to send a text to Squidgy Splodge explaining why you should win in 160 characters or less. Text cost £1.50 each. This meant that I might be able to win, but it would be expensive. But I would get a year's supply of donuts. For me, a year's supply would be loads. Maybe a gazillion tons or something. This meant it was definitely good value for money. I sat on my bed for about an hour, writing, deleting, changing my text until I was happy. And it fitted into 160 characters. In the end, I went with, I just want to eat donut. Oh, I say, I might have to start this again because he's written it in text speak and I don't get it. I just want to eat donuts, but being stung by jellyfish, told off for feeding fat rodent and forced to buy donuts for OAPs. My GF's a pig and I may have dog's bum's worms in my mouth. Please help. Right, I think that's a fair translation. I wasn't sure if it made sense, but it felt important to get everything in there. I needed the judges to feel sorry for me. Taking a deep breath, I pressed send. I nervously fiddled with the phone. This was my big chance. The last 2 days had been awful. But maybe whoever read the text would realise this and know that I deserved those donuts more than anyone else on the planet. Surely no one else would have a hard luck story like mine. I had to win. I imagined the van. No, the lorry. No, the fleet of jumbo jets bringing me my year's supply of doughnuts. Me ripping open the first box, stuffing the delicious balls of joy into my mouth, sitting there on a mountain of used trays, covered from head to toe in crumbs. And beep, beep. Oh, yes, a text from Spodgy Splodge Doughnuts. That was quick. They must have loved my message and decided immediately that I was the winner. I opened it excitedly and my face dropped. Sorry, you didn't win. Please try again and keep enjoying the taste of Squidgy Splodge Doughnuts. And that was that. I'd failed. I flopped even. I flopped back onto the bed. Now, that's the end of that chapter. And the next chapter, funny enough, is called Wednesday. But we're going to have to read that tomorrow. So have a lovely day and I'll see you soon. Bye.